continuing the streak. I've kind of hit my goal of 500. Honestly, the next goal probably would be 1,000, but it's going to take a very long time of doing a stream once per week. Again, we're playing with sound on because in the arcade, the exact frame rate is very important. I'm playing on Melon DS, but obviously want to prove that it is playing at 60 frames per second. Slowing it down would be quite a major cheating advantage, and I want to prove that I'm not doing that. So yeah, let's get going. When this streak ends, I'll play arcade doubles. I do think the arcade doubles team isn't as solid as the arcade singles team. As this team, basically. So who's up first? The first match is always the deadliest because of the way that the arcade points work. The better your victories are, the more arcade points you get for the roulette. It changes how the roulette works, and at the start we've got 0 points, which means the roulette is very biased against us. It is an important factor. So it is a hiker. Hiker can obviously be any set. We are relatively lucky in terms of the Pokemon that he's running, though. Nidoqueen and Bastiodon are not problems. Mamoswine is a bit of a problem. However, we've got to remember that this is the arcade. There's no item. I'm not so worried about Mamoswine free getting a insane run of the Lax and Sense Misses. It is possible it could activate Snow Cloak with Hail, though. Yeah, a little bit nervous about this. It's a similar thing as usual. I don't want to get paralyzed. I don't want to get burned. Of those two, I'd rather be paralyzed because Garchomp can't get paralyzed. It's immune to it. I very likely will have to open up with Earthquake against Nidoqueen. The problem with doing that is if it is Nidoqueen and it survives the Earthquake, which is possible, and then it kills me with fire with Ice Beam, then Bastiodon free becomes a problem because Bastiodon free can obviously quite good against Suicune and Bissy together. So I might not be doing that actually. We'll see what the roulette brings. The most important thing to dodge is the item square for me. I don't want to get given an item because it could be a choice item. I actually missed what that was because I was stupidly talking. But this is a fairly good target at the bottom. The plus level would be huge. It would mean that Garchomp actually absolutely would kill Nidoqueen every time. AC so. Okay, this is a really important hit. Garchomp now guaranteed to kill Nidoqueen. Fissure won't work on Bastiodon, and Fissure won't work on Mamoswine. So it's Lyle, Hiker Lyle. Bring it on, hoo-ha. I could potentially substitute. There's no real reason to do so, though. I'm mostly curious about what is going to come in second. Oh, it's going to be Mamoswine every time, actually, because they all have ice moves, yeah. So Mamoswine guaranteed to come in second. How do I want to continue against Mamoswine? I don't really like switching out because if I switch out, I give it time to use Hail. I think I'm biased towards just using Outrage itself. I don't want to substitute and let Hail go up as well. I can just Outrage and then Surf. And if it does use Hail, I obviously get another chance to hit it. Okay, so it's Mamoswine set 2 with Avalanche. Is good news for me. No information about Bastiodon, but that's fine. So I'm just going to go Suicune. I'm thinking about whether or not I want to use Calm Mind here. Because Mamoswine is quite likely to use Curse even at low HP. What would it actually change? Not very much. Again, I'm not too worried about Bastiodon. Probably the worst thing that could happen is still Bastiodon 3 using Double Team. I don't really want that to happen. But because we're leveled up, Bastiodon 3 is not going to beat Blissey. It's not going to have enough PP to beat Blissey with Iron Heads, and it doesn't have leftovers in the arcade, so it kind of just loses. I think I'm just going to use Serve. Because Mamoswine 2 getting a crit Earthquake into Suicune does do quite good damage overall. Take it out and see what the Bastion set is. Could also be Bastiodon 1, potentially forcing me out with Swagger. In that case, I wouldn't really want to have used Calm Mind either. So we do about half. Yeah, okay. Obviously, Bastiodon 2 is not going to win. That's a good start. Should be safer on the roulette now, but we'll see what the opponents are. This is a set 4 trainer. So should be completely fine. I'm not that worried about Dugong 4. Should be fine. Obviously, Victory Bell doesn't have the it doesn't have the chance to cheese me like it could with its item. Skarmory hasn't got Life Orb, and Dugong can freeze, but it's not going to get through Blissey. It's extremely unlikely to anyway. So yeah, I don't need any assistance on this match. Just a regular square would be fine. It looks like level up. I don't really want to level the enemy up. I got quite a big target in the middle here. At the end of the third row. Just going to go for that. Okay, and get the sand is obviously very good for Garchomp, activating Sand Veil. Sand is actually going to force Victory Bell to use Sunny Day. Just thinking whether or not that changes my plan. It is faster after Sunny Day. And it matters slightly because Solar Beam could crit. So Sunny Day into Chlorophyll Solar Beam, that is kind of annoying. I might just go Blissey. The real question is, do I want to go... I want to go Blissey next turn, though. There's no point switching now. I can go next turn. Actually, Victory Bell can also use Ring Out. I remember that is... It's not actually guaranteed to Sunny Day. It can also use Ring Out. And it can also use Ring Out over Solar Beam in the sun as well. I'll use Earthquake as a shot to nothing. If I crit, makes the match a bit shorter. If it uses Sunny Day, I'll switch to Blissey. There's Ring Out, okay. So that can't kill me even if it crits. What is going to come in next is going to be Dugong, because it has a super effective move and Skarmory does not. Again, I'm facing it in sand. I can actually substitute twice and then perhaps Outrage would kill. I've also got 2 chances to dodge the attack with Sand Veil substitute. And obviously I don't need Garchomp for Skarmory. So there's no downside to doing it this way. Shit, 61. I'm probably in Surf range as well. Yeah, I did go for Surf. That's fine though. So we don't kill, but it's going to be dead to sand. It doesn't matter who I go to here. Skarn we can never win. It's too slow. Bum, 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 bum. So cowgirl, which means set 4. This looks very easy as well. Just want to have a little bit of respect for Gastrodon, but that's it. Just a little bit of respect for Gastrodon because with a lot of luck it could get through Blissey. But Suicune's going to beat it anyway. To be honest, this is basically completely free. Bastiodon does not have a Focus Sash. It is the arcade. It looks like it's the blank tile because it started on the berry. And the default ending is 2 squares to the right of the start after 30 seconds. I'm going to let that run just run out. Because I don't need any help here. I could actually substitute on turn 1. The downside of using substitute on turn 1 is that after Curse, I do not always kill Bastiodon with Earthquake. It is a 21 IV Bastiodon, which does change the role a bit more in Garchomp's favour, most likely, but I don't really see a need to risk that. Gastrodon is going to come in second. I can easily go to Blissey in that scenario. I don't even really need to keep Garchomp alive for Vespiquen. It's just that with extreme luck, Vespiquen could be a problem for Suicune. Let's substitute. If it uses Avalanche, it would use it here. I'm gonna Swords Dance in this case. The reason that was probably safe was because after a single curse, I think unboosted Avalanche would always kill Garchomp. Of course, the AI does not understand that Avalanche gets boosted power to 120. It's going to calculate it as if it's always 60 power. So PI next, which is bad news. Unfortunately, Glalie can be Glalie 2 or Glalie 4. This will be Rapidash 3 and it'll be Pinsir set 4. So I'll put in Glalie in general, but I'll put Rapidash 3 and Pinsir 4 because those are guaranteed. It's going to be Glalie 2 or 4. We don't know which one. It's a very awkward matchup. This of course, I'm going to open with Substitute. I think the risk about doing that is the fact that I could just be wasting HP, and I do care a bit about my HP because of Pinsir. But I need to know whether or not it's Glalie 2 or Glalie 4 before I potentially switch. If it is Glalie 4, I most likely have to actually stay in with Garchomp. I'll be substituting down to try and get a Blizzard Miss, but there's no way I'm switching out into a potential Sheer Cold. Because obviously Suicune and Blissey cannot kill Glalie fast enough. They are going to be subject to Sheer Cold if I don't attack first with Garchomp. If Garchomp does go down though, Rapidash becomes a big problem. Suicune obviously doesn't kill Rapidash in one hit, and Pinsir becomes a problem as well. Same reason. Rapidash is a bigger problem than Pinsir though, because Rapidash is faster than Suicune and Blissey, and Pinsir is slower. Very intentionally, Suicune and Blissey are both faster than uninvested base 85 speed enemies, which is what Pinsir is. So basically what I'm saying there is I would really like some kind of help on the roulette. Several things would help a lot. The HP down square would mean that Suicune could kill Rapidash in one shot. If I can poison or burn the enemy, that's also a really big deal in terms of Garchomp being able to beat Glalie. Sandstorm would be good. Level Up would be the best square by far, because that would turn off the Oko moves from working. Anything else? Not really. I guess if it is Glalie 4, I can actually switch into Suicune on Blizzard. This saves Garchomp. I'm probably going to do that actually. On the 4th Blizzard, I can switch to Suicune and deplete all of Blizzard's PP with pressure. It would be better if Glalie simply missed, though. And I'm also a bit concerned about Glalie 2. I probably would also be going to Suicune on Glalie 2. I'm a bit worried about Pinsir in all of these scenarios, though. So yeah, let's hope it's a good board for me. Hail is not good. I don't think I can stop this, though. The paralysis and the sleep are bad. This and this are really bad. There's a team swap. This is perfect. This is good. This is a good run of these 4 squares, but I don't think I want to risk that. I'm just going to let it stop on Hail. It's arguable whether or not Hail is good for me. Unfortunately, the Ice Body healing on Glalie could matter for Outrage plus Surf trying to kill it. But the fact that Hail does damage to Rapidash is a big deal, and the same for Pinsir. What sucks about this, though, is if it is Glalie 4, obviously it has the perfectly accurate Blizzard, which is not good news. I'm actually half thinking about going straight into Suicune. I'm really thinking about that. Because it's hailing, the Garchomp versus Pinsir matchup actually gets improved quite a lot. But in particular, Garchomp... Oh, 1 second. Yeah, in particular, Garchomp and Blissey together with hail damage will always kill Pinsir if I can use Outrage on Pinsir. That's a big deal. I really don't want Garchomp to faint. It's not going to faint unless I stay in and don't use Substitute, though. I think I actually have to go to Suicune here. Stormlight fan as well, yep. I have to go to Suicune right now. I really hope it's Glalie 2 and not 4. It is 4. It has obviously has 3 blizzards left. It didn't freeze at least. Yeah, so because it's hailing, it's not going to use hail itself. It's either going to blizzard or sheer cold. I'm a little bit worried about the fact that Glalie could be Ice Body. And if it is, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Particularly if Sheer Cold hits. I mean, if Sheer Cold doesn't hit on this turn, I'm going to win. But I'm worried about Sheer Cold hitting. Of course, the best idea is to just simply use Surf. I've got the upside of critting. I do more damage with 2 Surfs than I do with Calm Mind into Surf. I just really hope Sheer Cold doesn't hit on this turn. I've actually crit. That's a big deal. Oh, please say you're Inner Focus, not Ice Body. Okay, it is Inner Focus. That That's big. That means it's dead to Earthquake. I think I'm just going to use Surf again. The switch in is always going to be Pinsir, because close combat is the strongest move into Suicune. And Pinsir is just fine by me. I don't mind Pinsir coming in early. I don't need Suicune to beat Rapidash because I got Garchomp. So yeah, I'm just going to Surf again. Very lucky. Okay. It wasn't GG if Sheikah hit, but most likely the enemy would have had a chance to hit another Oko move and then win the game. This is actually over now, though. They can no longer win. I'm not completely sure whether or not I'm going to be in comfortable Flare Blitz range or not. I think I will be just outside it. And therefore it doesn't actually make sense to use Rest. It matters because Rapidash 3 is obviously faster than Suicune. Okay, this is... yeah. It's a set 4 trainer. This will be Staraptor, Alakazam, and Jinx 4. Those are all completely fine by me. Staraptor and Alakazam are too slow. And the fact this is a 21 IV trainer makes Staraptor even safer. Because a 31 IV Staraptor, I don't think I ever kill it with Outrage. Obviously, I've got to get rid of Intimidate, but Staraptor's going to use Brave Bird anyway, or U-turn. It's actually going to use U-turn, isn't it? Because of Jinx. That is annoying. Oh, I'm not completely sure that that was that wasn't team swap. I'm actually going to go for this square at the bottom. It's the berry square. I'm very worried about team swap here. Wow, that was amazingly late. I'm glad I went nowhere near team swap. Sunny Day is not actually good for me. Let me quickly look up the thanks to this. Let me quickly look up the U-turn AI. So first off, U-turn does get -1 because it's weaker than Brave Bird. It's no super effective move. It uses HP is over 70% and 30%. Okay. So basically it can U-turn, it's just not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. I don't want it to U-turn against Suicune, but having said that, it is quite a big deal actually. I really don't want it to U-turn Alakazam into Suicune, which is what's going to happen. It's actually quite tempting to stay in for that reason. The problem with staying in, of course, is that I'm intimidated. I don't like that. Let's go, Suicune. It's not a mistake. I would just be annoyed. Okay, there's the Brave Bird. That's important recall damage into Staraptor. Important recall damage in terms of Garchomp being able to kill it later on. So because it is Sunny, Hidden Power Electric does do more than Surf. Staraptor's not going to U-turn anymore, because Brave Bird does a lot more damage than Energy Ball does. So it's gonna Brave Bird again. I'm not super sure on whether or not I kill after the recoil. I probably do. I probably do kill here. I would like to kill, because I do not want to be locking myself into Outrage. Okay, that's GG. This doesn't matter because I'm dead unless Focus Blast misses. And because this is a 21 IV trainer, Garchomp is faster, which means this match is over. I believe this is a collector, which means set 1, which is pretty weird. I should be very good against set 1. Let's put that on the... I'm not completely sure this is a collector there. I'm not sure if another sprite in the overworld shares this. So let's put them as unknown sets for now. But of course, if it is set 1s, I'm in a very good position. I'm in a very, very good position because Abomasnow is going to switch in after Mismagius faints to Garchomp. And I can use Swords Dance safely on turn 1. I'm pretty sure that's Rain, which doesn't matter. If this is a collector, I'm going to win because I can just Swords Dance with Mismagius. Critical hit Maxwell Shadow Ball would never kill Garchomp. So I can just Swords Dance, Outrage. +2 Outrage is going to kill Abomasnow 1 as well. Bastiodon is left alone in the hail against Suicune and Blissey. And it's going to lose. It is Leroy. There is one thing that can go a little bit wrong here, which is that it can use Memento on turn 1, which offsets the Swords Dance boost, and then Abomasnow is in against Garchomp. I'm going to be forced out. However, the turn 1 Memento is unlikely, and it's not like switching makes Memento any better. That is so annoying. It has done it. Okay. Well, at least I'm not at -2 attack, I guess. I need to think about what to do now. need to think about what to do. I think I'm just going to go Blissey. The reason why Blissey isn't a very good idea is because after Seismic Toss, Outrage is never always going to kill a Abomasnow. It does make sense to try and save Garchomp though, there's no doubt about that. Slightly concerned about the freeze. I would have to switch if that happens. Okay, no freeze. Another factor here is that I could open out with the Thunder Wave, as I'm likely going to be switching to Suicune if I get hit by Grass Whistle. And Thunder Wave does buy 3 turns. Even though I'm already fast in it, I think it's almost always going to make sense to do this. Actually going to softbolt here. On the other hand, the second Seismic Toss is very important damage in terms of Garchomp. But what's a little bit awkward about this is the fact that Garchomp can't actually use Outrage safely because it could get revenged by Bastiodon if I get stuck in a 3-turn Outrage. I am actually going to heal for that reason. There's the freeze. That wasn't totally unexpected. Now the worst timeline is Grass Whistle on this turn hitting Blissey. That would suck. Yeah. I can't go Garchomp, obviously. Garchomp being slept would be in many ways worse, and I'm not sure about Giga Drain healing enough on Garchomp or not to survive Outrage. It is a fairly big Seismic Toss. I think if this Seismic Toss hits, then it is going to be fainting to Earthquake, which does actually guarantee the win. I'm not totally certain about that though. And nothing matters anymore except using Earthquake with Garchomp. If it even comes to that. God, Blissey is so overpowered. It's disgusting. It is a Ruin Maniac. I'm a little bit upset about this. All 3 of these Pokemon cause my team issues in their own way. And the fact that Aerodactyl is leading is very annoying. I need to think carefully about what I'm going to do on turn 1 actually. Aerodactyl obviously is going to be faster than Garchomp. I probably do need to go to Suicune immediately. But that can backfire. And I'm very worried about Suicune fainting before Scizor has been dealt with. In particular, very worried about Scizor set 1 with Swords Dance. But yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens. I would like to burn them, to be blunt. That would be the best square by far. Interesting. So, paralysis on the enemy. That is a fairly big deal. Obviously, the Garchomp Outrage into Aero isn't guaranteed kill. But I really like the fact that Sizzle could get paralyzed as well. I think it's a really good square. Only beaten by the burn square, but that's fine. I'm not too fussed about that. I'm just thinking if whether or not the paralysis would mean that I would stay in or not with Garchomp on turn 1. See, even if I get good luck and have the Swords Dance boost, I don't want to be outraging into a Sizzle switch in. Intuitively, it feels correct to go Suicune. If it is Aero 1, I'm probably switching back, but that is fine. So it is paralyzed. I'm going to go for the Calm Mind then. I am not going back to Garchomp against Aero 4 for obvious reasons. I don't want to get killed by a max roll critical hit Dragon Claw. I'm at +1. I kill Aero. I will also 2-shot every Tyranitar. It's not great against Sizzle, but I do 2-shot the Sizzle set 1 with Swords Dance, which is an important one. It's difficult to imagine attacking now backfiring, and I don't want to stay in on further turns setting up against Stone Edge, or even though Stone Edge only has 3 more PP with pressure factored in. Okay, good. I would like Sizzle to come out. Okay. I guess it was guaranteed to be Tyranitar anyway. This should be fine. The fact that I get to use Surf on this turn means that Garchomp's not going to be locked into Outrage as it kills Tyranitar. I've actually crit it. Okay. And I crit Sizzle too. It wasn't actually Sizzle set to, but... because that would survive the crit, but okay, that was really lucky. 1 full paralysis turn, and then I crit 2 out of 3 moves I use. Secret scope lens, exactly. It's an idol. I was kind of hoping it might be Miranda, but it's not Miranda because it's the starter spam idol. I don't like Torterra very much. Torterra is a kind of Pokemon that does give my team problems as a bulky ground type. However, Typhlosion and Sceptile are usually good news for me. Just a standard, want to avoid items, I don't want to get a choice item. I get paralyzed. How bad is that? It's actually not that bad. I'm gonna try and stop it on the berry square though. Okay, too soon. That's fine. I was going to get paralyzed anyway if I left it. So Garchomp's not actually paralyzed, so I do have the option of nuking Typhlosion. given that I am paralyzed, I'm just sort of weighing up my option of just using Sword Stance immediately. No, Natural Cure only activates when you switch out. The downside of staying in is that it could be Sceptile 4 coming out, and I'm not sure what I would be doing then. It is more likely to be Torterra coming out second, though. The reason why this is risky is I do kind of need Garchomp alive for Torterra. Earthquaking, that is completely fine. Yeah, 45 damage doesn't tell me too much. I'm sure... I don't know, actually. Maybe it is Typhlosion 2 guaranteed. I will be staying in at this point, though. It had to be Typhlosion 4 for me to really switch out against a Sceptile switch in on turn 2. It is Torterra. Substitute is a really bad idea against Torterra 1, but against all the others it is actually a very good idea. The fact that Torterra came in, it does make it a bit more likely to be 1 or 4. I'm going to use Outrage. I'm obviously very likely to kill 1 and 4. It's set 2 and 3 that have a good chance to survive. Okay. Well, I should almost always win unless Leaf Storm crits. That's not Leaf Storm. Hey, Zion. It's important we got through the first match of the round. It's a veteran, those are set free. A little bit awkward, actually. I don't think there's a clever way to play this to make sure that Porygon Z does not get a download boost in a scenario where it actually matters. I'm going to have to go Suicune. Unless I burn. I'm gonna go for this, I think. The Trick Room isn't actually a bad square for me. Nice. Just think about this. Am I going to stay in? Obviously, I can get +1 after the Intimidate. I think I'm staying in. It did crit, but it's fine. Yeah, if that was a 2-turn outrage, I can just paralyze Porygon with Blissey and it's over. I mean, it was burned. What am I saying? It was burned. It was just over anyway if I switch out. So Picnicker, they're set for. Pinsir Fort is a very annoying lead. But the back two are very easy to deal with. I'm not scared of those at all. I think what I'll do is I'll just immediately use Outrage. Force it to try and hit the Guillotine. Of course, Suicune is faster than Pinsir, so it can finish it off. Starmie's going to come out second because of the Water Psychic having partially neutral typing into Suicune. I can then go Blissey on Starmie. And Suicune, it could choke the 1v1 against Arcanine, but very unlikely to. And Arcanine also has to crit its way through Blissey first anyway. I think this is very easy. Yeah, that's poison. That makes this even easier. I'm not sure if it completely guarantees Arcanine not being able to win, but I mean, it does mean that I don't paralyze Arcanine in the line that I mentioned where Pinsir does hit Guillotine immediately. Of course, I can just triple substitute on Pinsir so that Outrage kills it. And besides, if Pinsir uses close combat, I kill it anyway. Yeah, it is actually quite a big deal, isn't it? Okay. There's the close combat already. I think I'm actually going to continue using Substitute because my HP doesn't matter unless I can get a Swords Dance boost. That would dramatically help how often I would kill Starmie with Outrage. I'm already quite likely to kill Starmie with Outrage from full, but Substitute once again to see if I can get a Guillotine miss. Okay, this is actually completely over then. It doesn't miss again, so I'm not going to go for the greedy Earthquake. Or am I? Or am I? I actually am. There's no downside to it. I'm going to be in E-speed range. Whatever. It was a short Outrage anyway. Yeah, this is definitely E-speed. So Arcanine has to flinch Thunderfang on this turn. It also probably needs to crit. If I hit a single Surf, the game's over. Okay. I think I should be fine here as well. Breloom does scare me slightly. It always does. It's the risk of Effect Spore. Toxicroak 2 also scares me slightly. The funniest format to watch. Yeah, it kind of is. I don't know, I just need to dodge the worst possible squares. I think that's actually auto skip. It might be level. Level would be bad. But I'm pretty sure it is auto skip. I can win level. It's fine. I can win level. Like, it would have to be Moltres 2 to cause serious problems. I'm still faster than Breloom. Like, it is actually fine. It is auto skip. GG. Oh no, I've got to change the freaking. Got to manually put in the win there. 515. Hiker? The Dugtrio free potential lead. Always very annoying. Also, I don't like Claydol. So Maldo, Claydol. I don't like Claydol. Don't like the chance of it exploding later on. The entire risk of this game, though, is down to Dugtrio free using Fissure potentially on turn 1. Any other Dugtrio set, I easily win. But yeah, if Dugtrio free is taking out Garchomp on turn 1, I can definitely lose in that scenario. Yeah, for once, the Trick Room is actually the best tile. I'm pretty sure it was it Freeze? Okay, good. I was half going for that. Let's Hiker Glen. The poison is not that important, really. I just didn't want to get frozen myself. Okay, good. That is obviously not Dugtrio free. So the most likely switch in is going to be Claydol because of its shared stab with Dugtrio on Earthquake, but of course if it is a special Claydol, potentially Armaldo might win the switch in tie, and it does. So Armaldo 3 is the most likely here, but 1 and 4 also could be in. I don't think it's very likely to be Armaldo 2 though. If it is Armaldo 2, it must be Claydol 2. Right, what do I do? I don't want to get by Swagger, that's the main thing. It's the only reason I'm not going to use Swords Dance. I don't want to use Substitute because I'm potentially just wasting HP against the more offensive Armaldo sets. It's very unlikely to be Armaldo 2, but I don't want to get hit by Swagger if it is. Yeah, okay. It's crit me. Nope. Yeah, it would be quite offensive if Armaldo had an off-category set. Right. I'm pretty sure Claydol can never win from this situation, even if it is the Trick Room set. Yeah, bye, Glenn. The thing about a special attacking Armaldo is not so much the low special attack, but the fact that it would have to use like Ancient Power. I'm not sure if Armaldo learns Bug Buzz. I really don't know. If it doesn't, that would be even worse. It'd probably be using Signal Beam, I guess. Oh, that would be terrible. That would be a truly terrible set. The egg lead. The risk of Trick Room is high here. If it is not a Trick Room lead, I kind of auto win. I'm pretty sure that's the burn tile. And if it is the burn tile, I think I am guaranteed to win this game. I don't think it's possible to lose. That makes up... Blissey not having a physical set, I guess. It is pretty weird that Chansey doesn't have a special set, I guess. I don't know, some of the lower tier Pokemon, I think they were created by someone else, to be honest. Yeah, the burn makes this super over. Like, I can just substitute down, which denies Egg, even Egg 4, unable to win with a crit because I'm just going to kill it. If it is Egg 3, it's going to use Trick Room, but then I can ride out the Trick Room with substitutes. It genuinely does have no chance to win here. It's just going to use Solar Beam. In that case, I'm going to use Swords Dance. Just don't want to waste time with a two-turner. I would never normally be able to do this against Medicham. I mean, does Seismic Toss count as a physical move? That should be pretty easy. Tiny chance of Suicune going nuts with freezes, that's it. HP down is fine. Yeah, I'm not worried about this. Could I go for an easier square? I might go for the hail, actually. Unlucky, a bit late. Batea Berry. I seriously doubt that's going to matter. It could be Crest in second if it's Crest 4, otherwise it's going to be Suicune. Boom. So it's not Crest 4, that's good information to have. It does make the chance of losing drop even further. It means that Garchomp's going to be really good against Cresselia. Even more reason to just go Blissey. If Suicune wants to have any chance of winning, it needs to use Calm Mind on this turn. And that's not Calm Mind. Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm always going to be Thunder Waving. It is Crest 2, which is a bit annoying. I obviously do always beat this with Suicune with Carmine, so I'm not too worried. It only has 5 Moonlight PP. It might possibly. Oh, the drop. Is it a miracle we've made it as far as we'd expect to keep the streak going? I'm not sure. It's not a miracle. Maybe it's a bit above average luck. It looks like Cresselia's not going to just concede. This would be a fairly risky scenario if I didn't have Carmine, Rest, Suicune. Hey, Barristized. Yeah, I mean, the tiles can backfire, but I have to misclick. I have to mistime the click for the tile to be bad. Wow, this accuracy luck kind of sucked. It is, of course, 1 in 3 to hit a move. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure that's a Dragon Tamer, which means it can be any set. It might be a set 4 trainer, though. It might be like a Ranger or something. But I'm probably going to have to prepare for any set. This is the kind of game I could potentially lose. Because Sceptile can be awkward. Lapras is pretty good against my team with some of its sets, mainly with the Sheer Cold set, and then if I don't have Garchomp around anymore, then Aggron maybe can cause some difficulties as well. It's just the it's unlikely. It's pretty unlikely, to be honest. I think the roulette would also have to be bad here for me to lose. Unfortunately, that is roulette speed up, which I can't let happen. I'm going to have to go for something at the top row. Perfect. Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, that was the best square on the board for me. The best item would be Citrus. Landsat is whatever. It's the critical hit berry. Team swap for content. This is Harvey. It's a little bit nervy on what to do against Sceptile. The problem with Sceptile is I do kind of want to go Blissey, but Blissey can get crit by Leaf Blade from Sceptile free, and then it's over for Blissey. If it is Sceptile free, I'm still probably... I mean, I could just kill it with Outrage. Obviously, all these sets just die to Outrage. I think I'm going to switch, though. Blissey's not actually that good in this match. Team swap at 1k. Oh, God. Yeah, because Blissey's not great into the Lapras sets we're most afraid of, I'm going to do it this way. It is Sceptile 4, and with that, it's probably game over for the enemy. What am I going to do? I think just the Garchomp setup, nothing too fancy. I could go Garchomp or Suicune here, they're both viable. Yeah. So with that, the Dragon Pulse no longer breaks the Garchomp substitute. And with that, it definitely doesn't. So yeah, I'm kind of waiting for Hyper Beam to be used so I can switch to Garchomp. I think Garchomp is quite clearly the better setup because of the risk of Lapras 2. We're going to use substitute. I can go for another one. That would mean that Earthquake one-shots Lapras 2, which is quite a big deal. On the other hand, it doesn't really matter. The important thing is that I have the substitute up for Lapras 1 using Ice Shard. Which I will do now. Okay, it is Lapras 1. Jogger, this is a set-free trainer. Should be completely safe. Unknown Charizard is scary because I don't know whether or not it's safe to go to Suicune, but the fact that it's Charizard free makes Suicune a safe switch in. And if Garchomp survives the opening matchup, I win. The plus level isn't very good for me. I want to go for this, but this is very scary. I don't want to have an item. I'm going to go for this. Unlucky. Hail is, of course, completely fine as well. In theory, Hail does actually change this slightly. I can just substitute down and then Outrage Charizard. There's just no reason to do it. No reason at all. It is going to be Exploud in second as well. And I don't want to be outraging Exploud. Think about this. I think I'm just going to Calm Mind. It did crit. That was the one thing I was a little bit afraid of. Don't do it again. I'm low, but I'm not too low. Just think about Breloom coming in against Suicune at +1. What is uncomfortable about that is the fact that I might end up sleeping from Effect Spore, and then it's a 1v1 with Exploud versus Blissey, which Blissey should win. It's just that Exploud could just endlessly crit. I think that's not a real issue though. The really brave thing to do here is to use Rest and try and run Breloom out of Dynamic Punch. I think I'm going to be substituting on Dynamic Punch anyway, and I don't need to worry too much about that. So there's the Landsat Berry. The Landsat Berry crit Surf would be a big deal on this turn. Okay, GG. So let's think about this. The Garchomp HP doesn't matter very much in many ways. There's one hit. It's two hits. This is pretty annoying. Even if it misses Dynamic Punch, would I even be killing with an Earthquake next turn? I think I'm always using Outrage anyway. I wasn't very pleased about this 1v1, but it's probably going to happen. I'm expecting to get hit by Effect Spore, and I'm expecting Effect Spore to be Sleep as well. Paralysis, actually... kind of weird. Exploud could easily choke this with Avalanche. We'll see what happens. Exploud could also use Earthquake. That would also be a choke. It uses Facade. I think Facade's always going to kill me. Yeah. I should always win this. Like, Exploud literally has to crit every move. I'm definitely four-shotting it because of the hail assistance. There's Avalanche, that's fine. Because Facade is the strongest move, I'm at no risk of getting like defense drops and so on. I do want to use Soft Bolt to make sure I don't die to a crit though. Using Soft Bolt is on my side. It's taking Hail Chip that it's not healing from. I don't fancy dying to Facade crit. I'm going to force you to hit back-to-back crits. Avalanche is obviously a waste of a turn. Kind of annoyed it came to that. I'm not sure if there's a better way to play around that. The dynamic punch hits were bad luck. It was just, and Charizard crit Suicune on that first initial switch in loop. It can't do anything about that really. Ooh, that's an ugly one. I don't like the way this looks. I need to think carefully about whether or not I switch out of Mamoswine. The pros of switching out of Mamoswine, obviously, or even not even switching out, just using substitute at all. Allowing Mamoswine to activate Snowcloak feels really scary to me. Obviously, if I just outrage, it's probably killing Garchomp. I can then Surf to revenge. It is then very, very likely to be Steelix coming in. I'm a bit worried about Steelix Rampardos against Suicune Blissey though. That feels it can go very wrong very quickly, particularly if it's Rampardos free. I'm very scared of the Adamant Head Smash. I would love to burn this team. Oh, this is kind of annoying. Okay, I was actually going for the Sandstorm. The speed down is good luck, is good for me as long as I survive this game, of course. God, do I switch out? It's only Mamoswine 3 that would use Hail. Because Mamoswine 1 is going to use Ice Fang. I'm going to substitute. Okay. I'm still not sure what I want to do. If I'm going to switch, I want it to be right now, because if I use another substitute, then Mamoswine is going to start potentially using Earthquake as well, and I don't want Earthquake to crit Suicune. Switching is a very good idea, as long as Suicune doesn't get frozen by Ice Fang. If that does happen, I have to switch Blissey into Earthquake, and obviously Earthquake is going to two-shot Blissey. Suddenly I'm very far behind. Garchomp would be so good later in the game, though. Garchomp is so good against Rampardos. Not good against Steelix 2, but good against the rest. Yeah, it's up to whether or not I want to risk the freeze, or I want to risk... I mean, I'm not risking very much by using Outrage. Outrage Surf. And then I can Calm Mind on Steelix. At that point, only Rampardos 4 is faster, and Rampardos 4 would have to crit Blissey. I think it's smarter to actually use Outrage. Because I'm going to do that, I might as well substitute, because Ice Fang can miss. It's fine. Just wondering whether or not it would use Double Edge, but we don't know anything about the Mamoswine set. Of course, if it is Mamoswine 4, it can't be Rampardos 3, which is kind of good news. Let's crit Outrage. How about that? That would be a good idea, actually. I'm kind of rethinking if I want to use Calm Mind at all. No, that's okay. Do I want to actually use Calm Mind against Steelix if Steelix does come out? Because, like, honestly, the damage doesn't matter. I kind of want to go for the high roll against Steelix. There's no Pashu Berry on Steelix. I think I'm just using Surf. I think I'm just using Surf against Steelix. It could be Rampardos. Rampardos 3 does come in here, if it is that. Interesting. I guess it could also be Rampardos 4, and then that would mean it would be Steelix 3, not switching in. There is not much I can do about a crit head smash. Really not much I can do about that at all. The best thing I can do is actually use Surf to make sure it's a double KO. Blissey versus Steelix is... It is really bad for Blissey, admittedly. Okay, I'm faster, so it's not Rampardos 4. Which means we're probably not going to kill it with Surf. It probably is Rampardos 3. Okay, as long as that doesn't paralyze, I win. Okay. Scary match over. Steelix doesn't have a Quick Claw in the arcade. Now it is roulette speed down from the last match, which means that the default tile is actually one above the starting tile. But it should also be easier for me to hit me some good tiles. These three aren't that scary without their items. Why don't you just sack Blissey at the start to get Suicune in safely? Suicune doesn't one-shot Mamoswine with Surf. I'm not sure if that's what you mean. And Ice Fang Steelix is kind of bad for Garchomp. And Rampardos 4 is faster than Suicune. It's not a bad idea. It's just... I'd be very concerned about a single crit ruining that. It should be these. It should be a cyclist. It's not a bad idea. It would probably win as well. That's a really bad default square. I think I'm actually going to go for the burn, because if it is a Trick Room and I mistime it, that's fine. Yeah, okay. I had a feeling I was going to mistime that. It's always going to be Breloom out second. I'm really just feeling the attack. Because I can go Blissey. I should have used Sword Stance. This was a stupid mistake. Speeding is actually faster. This is a stupid mistake. I guess this way I don't do as much self-hit damage. Okay, I do hit. I should have actually used Substitute though to waste Trick Room turns. You've got to be kidding, man. What is that? I'm actually going to go Suicune. And then go immediately back into Garchomp. Yes, you missed now, of course. So it's 50-50 for this to be Thunder Punch or Dynamic Punch. Am I always going back? I think I am always going back. It did do it, but it didn't hit. That's big. This is the final turn of Trick Room. Okay, it misses every Dynamic Punch after the first one. It's out of PP. It's actually going to use Facade, I'm pretty sure. It is a little bit weird that Aerodactyl has the Yachi Berry, alright. Oh, it's an Ice Trainer. It's an Ice Trainer. It's a Mamoswine lead once again. It is still the slower roulette though. Hopefully I should be able to engineer something in here. But I'm pretty scared of this actually. It's that on default. I'm going to go for the poison. Okay, I was late. Perfect. I was actually thinking that fog wouldn't be too bad for once, but yeah, whatever. The sunlight is actually pretty bad in terms of what Suicune is going to be gimped by. It does mean Suicune doesn't get frozen. I'm quite concerned about Mamoswine free though. Okay, it's an Ice Fanger once again. What's a little bit scary about this is the fact that the Frostlass is in the end and Blissey can't touch Frostlass. It is definitely the day of Mamoswine. Okay. I think I have to use Surf here. I really want to use Calm Mind, but I think I have to use Surf. And the reason for that is I'm a bit worried about Hail from Mamoswine 1. Of course, if it does use Hail, it's going to be fainting to Surf. I've crit, okay. That is another reason to not use Calm Mind, of course. It is Mamoswine 1. Okay. So there's 4 turns of Hail starting from now. Mamoswine Monday. I've got to kill this. I've got to kill this. It actually doesn't matter very much if Frostlass does come out. I've got to kill this. Okay, that's huge. I can now go Blissey if Frostlass comes out. If Glalie comes out, I'm actually just going to attack. Okay, I said I was going to attack, but how true is that? I've got to think about the potential for Glalie 4 sheer colding on this turn with Hail up. Ooh, that would be fairly brutal. What's weird about Blissey versus Frostlass is I'm actually quite likely to win the PP stalled war then, and I would then actually win. There are some weird scenarios though with Frostlass 2 using Swagger and so on. I wouldn't want that to happen. And I can get frozen on Blissey as well. But I can't do anything about this. I have to use Surf. I can't switch into a sheer cold anyway. And it should be a physical Glalie. Yeah. Because it switched out second. Okay. I don't mind if it explodes. I've crit again. Okay. The Landsat Berry from earlier apparently got applied to this game instead. I just need to Thunder Wave this, and then it's over. I don't want Ominous Wind to happen. So I should probably actually stay in, but it's pretty weird. I guess I can switch to Suicune. It would be a serious mistake to allow this to get an Omni boost. Well, it keeps getting the paralysis on the turns that I'm trying to switch into the Ominous Wind though. I have to use Rest on that really. Instantly. The Omni boost actually makes this a little bit scary. Yeah. I am at least guaranteed to not get confused on Garchomp. Yeah, I would like to see no more Mamoswines. Frickin'. Please. Okay. I'm pretty sure this is an ace trainer or a what are they called? Pokemon Ranger, which means they're very likely to be set 4. But I think, is it possible that it could be another sprite? I don't know. I'm fairly certain that this is a set 4 trainer. Yeah, I mean it's a pretty straightforward win. Hopefully. I'm gonna go for the burner. And I miss again. I've been so late every time I've been playing. I get worse and worse on the roulette as the stream goes on, to be honest. That's what happens. Fortunately, it does not matter. It is a Dragon Tamer, so it isn't actually guaranteed to be set 4, which is a bit annoying. I kind of regret going for the Sandstorm at this point. I'm going to go Suicune. That's fine. It's guaranteed to use Hammer Arm here, actually. Double Hit does more damage, but because Double Hit is spread across 2 attacks, the AI doesn't understand that. So it sees Hammer Arm as the strongest move, and obviously Hammer Arm gets a +1 score if it's slower, and it is slower. Actually, no, it's not slower. It's not slower. It's Kang free. Okay, but it's slower now. It could be Dragonite in second, and if it is, I probably have to switch. Yeah, I probably do have to switch here. I can use rest first. The worst case scenario here is that it's Dragonite free, but I have to. Dragonite free has to crit me for it to be a problem. Okay, that's fine. Bum 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 bum. It's going to use Outrage. If Blissey uses Aromatherapy during Suicune's sleep, I am guaranteed to win the game, because I can just Outrage with Garchomp against Dragonite. However, if Dragonite crits Outrage on this turn, that would suck so much. I would still be able to substitute. I'm probably doing that, to be honest. I could still substitute. Please, no crit. okay. Because Suicune was low on HP, so they both killed Suicune. I used rest. So aromatherapy cures the sleep on Suicune, which means Suicune beats Rhydon, and then obviously Garchomp beats Dragonite. Technically there's no reason not to use Substitute. Yeah, I mean, if Dragonite crits there, Dragonite also has to hit Garchomp 4 times in a row through Sand Veil and through Confusion, which it can do, but it's pretty unlikely. The Dragon Tamers are annoying, man. I hate how they have the same overround sprite as some of the others. It's never guaranteed set 4. It's not guaranteed to be set 4. It is fairly likely. No, it is guaranteed. What am I talking about? Because Starmie's a psychic type. This is a set 4 trainer, I'm pretty sure. If it is set 4, I do quite easily win. But yeah, well, let's see. Let's see what happens. Again, it's 1 square up from the start, because it's slower game speed. I'm going to go for the level. Cecil. So we Frostas in second. Frostas feigns to Outrage as well. And this game is just over. Interesting, it did live. That's fine, though. Okay, one more round for the clean 28 games today. And also because I'm getting pretty tired. I should probably stop here, but kind of listless in terms of aims anyway. So yeah, this is probably the last scary match, is this next game. First game of the round, always the scariest in arcade. It's a set 4 trainer, that is often good news. And relatively tame. Of course, Marowak does not have his item, making it pretty terrible. Marowak won the best Pokemon to see. For me. If you're wanting an entertaining game, it's not the most exciting. Very difficult to lose this. I just want to avoid items. I don't want to have any kind of choice items for the entire round. We're back to regular game speed, which means it's 2 after the starting square as the default stop. So I get poisoned. That is fine. I don't mind being poisoned. I can go straight to Suicune on Skarmory and use Rest. Miltank's not winning. Yeah, this is over. I could attempt to stop it here, but I'm worried about this square. This is obviously item for me. I don't want that. I want to be anywhere near that. That is a disaster for sure. Now, if the enemy had their items, this could be a scary game, but Marowak does not, so... Ooh, nice crit. Okay, maybe you can do something. It's gonna have another chance to crit now. And it's taken it. Holy shit. Fuck. God, that's annoying. I'm thinking about sacrificing Suicune at this point. It's a bit uncomfortable because Skarmory could also crit Blissey. That would be really, really bad for me. It's going to be Miltank in after Skarmory faints. I think I let Suicune faint. Oh, this sucks. Oh, this sucks. Freaking double crit on turn 1 and 2. There's a additional problem actually, which is that Skarmory might not use it might not use Brave Bird next turn to kill. It might go for X-Scissor, which would be really bad for me. Okay. I mean, I actually kind of want this one to crit. It would mean... Yeah, I'm... it should only be Brave Bird, though. It should only be Brave Bird. You little troublemaker, Skarmory. So yeah, I need to take this out. Can't risk the next crit. And... Thunder Wave and Soft Bolt, surely. And then I can Aromatherapy. This is now safe. What is unsafe is potential Giga Impact, which I want to stay out of range of. Impossible to do that forever. So if I back-to-back attack now, it's going to faint. And... it's still a little bit risky with Marowak if Marowak gets a double crit. But I think I'm just going to do that. I'm not going to use Soft Boiled. I don't want to invite we don't want to invite the Miltank to potentially get a crit. Although if it does crit Giga Impact, I do get Swords Dance and then I always do win. Okay, this is very over. I did my best. Double crit. That should be most of the danger past. another team, which I'm not always sure on what to do. It's difficult to say how useful Guard Drop is going to be in this game. Very difficult to say. I don't like Poliwrath. I don't like Poliwrath leading. Is that really the level up square? God, that sucks. I'm gonna go for the burn, surely. Okay. I could lose this quite easily, actually. I am very concerned about Gastrodon free. Man. And a hail means that Blizzard can't miss, which really sucks for me as well. I'm gonna start off with Substitute. I think Poliwrath is the Pokemon I most want Garchomp to face. Okay, it's Poliwrath 1. That is... I'm actually just going to Earthquake, I think. I don't know. I don't know, actually. I don't know. I only have to hit one move if I use Sword Stance. I'm going to Sword Stance, actually. Don't miss, 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 don't miss. It's gonna vacuum wave here. God damn it. Okay, backup plan, Suicune. I don't want to die to a crit. But also I have limited setup opportunity here, really. Right, +4. Obviously Slowking will survive, but I do good damage into it and into Gastrodon. I'm actually just going to attack. It's fine. No miss there when it doesn't matter, of course. It is Slowking first. That means... that is bad news for me. It means that it's probably a physical Gastrodon set. I would love to crit this. What is the AI on Brine? It's never going to use Brine because I resist it. Okay, that's good to know. I'm just going to use Rest. So I think it's incredibly likely that that is a physical Gastrodon in the back. Okay. This was scary after the double 3 misses, but I did recover. Solrock 2 lead. Interesting. Yeah, weird. I see no reason not to set up Suicune. Speed down is perfect because I don't need anything for this fight. Don't need anything at all. I'll just go to Suicune and set up and win, I think. There's a chance that Aerodactyl crits Suicune, denying the sweep. At that point, I would have to go Blissey. But Blissey is very good against Aerodactyl. Actually, a very, very favourable matchup for Blissey. It would have to be like Aero 4 and have to get crits. I'm a worldwide bad boy. Okay, let's not choke into a crit. I don't need too many boosts. Actually, be very, very, very greedy to go for too many. Okay, GG. God damn it, man. What is this? Donphan is, for people who don't know, the last time this team lost, which was the previous streak, obviously, featured Donphan. Donphan is a big problem for the team. And Mamoswine in the back as well, just to make sure that I really get punished for Donphan doing its thing. As long as it's not Donphan 4, I can use Calm Mind with Suicune. It should be fine. It literally has to be Donphan 4 for this to be a problem. And I'd be substituting on turn 1 and 2 against that anyway. I would love to burn this. It's this by default. The HP down is actually quite a big deal. It makes Garchomp versus Donphan much, much more favourable for me. I'm kind of tempted to go for the burn, but I don't want to have my HP down. That wouldn't be good. Yeah, Donphan being 80% HP really matters for the Outrage kill. Captivated by the mountains, it's Glenn. I'm definitely going to substitute a Scout for Fisher. Obviously, Donphan is incredibly likely to just use the move Earthquake. Yeah. If I substitute again and it earthquakes again, then I can actually die to the next earthquake at half health. A funny idea here is that I could go earthquake into outrage. That would kill Donphan as well. Mamoswine's always going to come in second against Garchomp because all of the sets have an ice move. Hail is included as an ice move. I would really hate to be confused as Mamoswine comes in, so I think I'm actually going to use Earthquake into Outrage. I don't want to use Swords Dance because I don't want to get punished too hard by a crit Earthquake. Or by a Fissure, potentially. Okay, so I win if this doesn't crit, to be honest. I do actually just win. I think that's over. So Ice Fang Mamoswine once again. God. Do 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 do. This is completely free, right? I think there's almost no risk in this at all. I'd have to like burn myself for it to be possible to lose this. Or do team swap. Okay, team swap. It's always possible to lose. Important to remember that. I think the water tile is pretty good by default. I'm going to actually stop it early. I'm considering Swords Dance. The problem with Swords Dance is that could get burned, right? It's just weird because obviously it's raining. So Blaziken 1 won't Blaze Kick. Oh, but Focus Blast could crit. Never mind. Yeah. Is Hariyama out second? It could be Hariyama free. Cross Chop. That's fine. Nice crit. How about you do it again? Unlucky. It's either a waiter or a breeder. I don't know which one. I don't think it's possible to know which one. So yeah, a bit of a risk from... it seems quite difficult to lose this, to be honest. Yeah, it seems quite difficult to lose this. Automatic skip. I'll take it. Yeah. I'll take that. Perhaps better than this is to go for the speed down square. And get another speed down. I would basically have free control over the roulette if I hit that. I'm a little bit worried about poisoning myself though. Like if I poison myself, is it possible to just game. It probably is. Yeah. Right, I've got to update the streak manually again. I'm like 99.9% sure that's a breeder. I'm sure enough to put them in a set 4, I think. Hard to imagine losing this. I'm just a little bit worried about Sceptile, I guess. Frostas is not a problem, as long as I keep Garchomp alive. Because Frostas 4 is modest and not timid, and therefore is slower. What a horrendous board this is. What the hell? Why is there so much fog? I don't want a sunny day. Do I really have to aim for this? Isn't the default was Trick Room though? I can totally play Trick Room. I can just stall out Trick Room with Lissy. Yeah, that's fine. No way I'm going for a potential fog. Confirms it's set 4, it's Eudora. I keep mixing up Europa and Pandora as Eudora. Anyway. Ooh, nice crit. I should probably try and set up the Suicune here. I'm going to actually wait until Golduck fully paralyzes because I want to be at high HP. It might matter for the Sceptile switch in. On the other hand, I don't want to waste all of my soft boileds. Okay. No, I am going to sub all the way. Go on, crit it. Crit it. Crit me. That's not a crit. Yeah, no Frostas. Snowcloak for you. Go away, Europa. You're Eustace TM. Well, this was definitely Mamoswine Monday. Mamoswine is definitely high up on the list of Pokemon I don't want to see, but managed to not lose at least. Yeah, cool. It was a good session. Is anyone streaming Frontier or Factory? I'm not seeing any Frontier players. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Matt. It looks like no one's playing. I'm just gonna leave it there then, guys. Thanks for watching. On Wednesday, I'm playing Pike in theory. I haven't got anything prepared for that yet, but yeah, playing Pike on Wednesday. Cool. Thanks for watching, guys.